Well, thank you, Paul, and thank you for joining us this Saturday morning. Thank you for giving us your most valuable resource, which is your time. My name is Mark Bostic. We promise that we are going to give you a good return on your investment. Chances are, since it's Saturday morning, you've already gone through your list of things that you want to get done today. Maybe it's chores or activities, but chances are you didn't think about your heating and air conditioning unit. And you shouldn't, because we're people and we've got lives and we've got more important things to think about. But you know who does think about that a lot? Kaylajoy. Kaylajoy, owner of RC Heating and Cooling, joins us. Welcome, Kaylajoy. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
I'm doing fine. I'm excited because this is our first opportunity to really spend some time together. So thank you for joining us today. Let's start with the beginning. Tell us about you and how you became a female owner in an industry that is dominated by men.
So, the short and simple answer is I was a secretary at this heating and cooling business, and after the owner had a stroke, me and my business partner took over, and we've been running ever since. So that's quick and easy that I usually tell most people.
Sure.
Long story. I was a foster child. I grew up without anything, and I learned how to struggle and work hard in the right ways and got my life on track as an adult. I did become a very young mom as well. So that's another thing where hard work came into play, and valuing time and money and energy all comes into play in both of those scenarios. So I did a lot of marketing for a car wash manufacturing company, and it took a lot of time away from my daughter. And so I decided not to do that anymore. And we went on vacation for a little bit, spent a lot of time together, came back, and I was like, well, Mom should probably get a job, don't you think? So I went on Craigslist and looked for a very easy job that I could be Monday through Friday and be home with my daughter in the evenings and weekends. And so I found a secretarial job at, it used to be called Ron's Custom Heating and Cooling in Shelby Township, and took that job. And I worked with Ron for about 9 years. And he unfortunately had a stroke in 2019 and was not able to return back to work, but is alive and thriving in Florida with his wife, of course.
As he should be.
As he should be. Well, in 2021, she wanted to move to Florida and retire with her husband, and she wanted to sell the business. So I kind of looked at my business partner. He looked at me, and I was like, well, I'll do it if you do it. And he's like, well, I'll do it if you do it. So
there you go.
Yep. November 15th of 2022 was our first working day as our RC Heating and Cooling.
Well, congratulations on that. And the thing that pops into my mind as I listen to you is you've come from a place of, as you said, where you understand the value of a dollar. You had to,
yes.
Right? So how did that inform your vision when you decided that you were going to take the leap and open up your own business? How did that manifest itself?
So every day I think about it because, as we know, prices are rising everywhere. I got gas this morning. It was $4 a gallon. And I was just like, wait a second, what just happened?
Yes.
Groceries, everything. So as a mom, as a human that, works for her paycheck and values those things that we have to purchase, in my business, I do that on the extreme because I want to make sure that my customers are still getting that value of their dollar and getting that value of expertise and making sure that what they're paying for is worth every single penny. Mm-hmm. So I like to make sure that our customers are 100% taken care of all the time. I don't know. It's just like, it's a weird mind thing. I just make sure that everybody isn't overpaying. I'm not price gouging people. Mm-hmm. I'm not, charging $100 for a part that costs $2, mm-hmm. which I know a lot of companies have to do because of overhead and things like that. I just personally cannot wrap my head around it.
You're right.
I can't do it. I don't know.
Is that because you remember being at that table when the bill came in that you couldn't afford in the first place?
Yeah.
And it's something that makes you go, oh my gosh.
My fun fact story, my electric bill, when I moved out on my own, really young, moved into an apartment. It had electric heat. I had no idea what that meant. I didn't know what the little dials were.
For 30 days, you didn't know.
Every single room, there's a little dial. And I'm like, oh, okay. Turn the dial on each room or turn it down or whatever. Well, I get my electric bill.
Yeah.
It was $3,000.
What?
It was $3,000.
What?
Yeah. I was working as a waitress then. I had a little 4-year-old. Yeah, $4,000, $3,000, whatever one that was. $3,000, yeah.
Holy cow.
I looked at it and I just immediately started crying because I'm like, I've got $100 in my bank account. I don't get paid till next week. I'm like freaking out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I going to do?
Right.
You know, and I, even though like I had help and resources as a foster kid and coming up, I never utilized them as an adult.
Yeah.
And then finally had to break down and do that.
So I can see how that really shaped and informed your decision and how you were going to treat your customers when it came to something that is probably next to a roof, the most expensive system that a homeowner has to deal with, right?
Absolutely. So the heating and cooling of your home is the lungs of your home, right? So if we can't breathe, we are uncomfortable. If your furnace can't breathe, it's very uncomfortable, and then it breaks down, kind of like us. It's the same thing. We're in a room over here on the left side of the house, and then on the right side of the house, it's hot here, it's cold here. You're uncomfortable, right? You're not feeling the best at 100%. That's because your system's not doing 100%. So that's where I come in and I educate people and kind of make it very simple and let them know, like, hey, it's really not that hard to understand. We just got to dumb it down and get rid of these big words, right? You know, when you go to the doctor and you say, all right, make it human for me, doc.
Right.
That's what I do.
Right. And you really are intense about that and intentional because you, as I was doing research on you, I know that you've got a life on Instagram where it's not showing your puppy, but it's really talking about furnaces and air conditioning. And I really get the sense, Kaylajoy, that as a HVAC owner, you even call yourself HVAC Barbie.
Yeah.
You really do everything you can to try and help people avoid buying a unit until they absolutely have to.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's expensive. You know, like you said, roofs are really expensive. HVAC systems, they're not cheap. You know, I try to do my best for the homeowner that what they need versus what they see on advertisements and what they think they want. And to kind of make it simple for them. But if there's any way that I can help repair a unit, if it makes sense, I will absolutely do that. Because I understand thousands of dollars. A lot of us don't have that sitting in our bank account. A lot of us don't have $7,000 sitting there for a replacement. And I understand that, you know, I 1,000% get that. So if I can come in and I can replace a capacitor, or if I can replace a blower motor, or, you know, this thing that makes the air go or the heat go, I would rather do that if it makes sense.
Sure. And that's really what someone is looking for when we pick up the phone. And usually when we pick up the phone when it comes to our heating and cooling units, it's because they're not working, right? You're either sweating or you're freezing.
Yep.
And so we need action, and we need action now. And I really love the attitude that I already sense from you, Kaylajoy, which is, look, I'm not going to oversell you. I'm going to do everything I can to treat you like you were my neighbor and like you were my sister or my brother, and I'm going to take care of you, and I'm going to be square with you. And really, when it comes to this part of our life, we have to depend upon your expertise, but also your integrity and your honesty.
Yeah, so that's the one thing that I have always said from day one, being in business, working for someone else, is honesty, integrity is key. Run toward the problem, never away from the problem. That is like my lifeline. Ask my guys. They're like, okay, I know. I'm sorry. I'm like, well, what did we do? You know? So yes, it's a big deal for me to make sure that every one of our new customers become family and they're treated as such.
Kayla, what you're saying is so critical. And that's why I want to give people the information they need to get in touch with you. You can call and talk with Kayla at 586-991-5990. That's 586-991-5990. Or go to rcheatcool.com. We have just begun our conversation with Kaylajoy. We're going to continue to talk about how she treats her customers and how she's making it easy for her customers to avoid big bills, and when the big bills come, to minimize the damage to your checkbook. It's a great conversation. It's an important conversation, and we will continue it right after this here on the Home and Health Show.